Many are now worried about a somewhat apocalyptic scenario, namely what will happen if Ukraine is left without Western assistance. In 2 years, Russia has lost its offensive potential in the war against Ukraine. And if in the beginning the enemy could conduct a large-scale offensive along a front of hundreds of kilometers, now the possibility has fallen to the level of kilometers. Even with the reduced combat effectiveness of Ukraine's defense forces, Russia's qualitative indicators won't change, and they won't allow them to advance into Ukrainian territory as quickly as 2 years ago. Currently, the enemy is attacking mainly with infantry forces due to the lack of equipment, and its endemic shortfall. If the Ukrainian army does not have support from its allies, the number of artillery shots per day will drop to 1,000 or less. Own ammunition production will help maintain this level, but not enough for all the artillery needs in defense. This could give Russian forces an offensive advantage. In 2023, Ukraine has accumulated enough different weapons that have not been used on the battlefield. We are talking about javelin, anti-tank NLO and others. All these means have been supplanted by various drones, which have become a curse for Russian equipment. Nevertheless, the stockpiles of accumulated means will create problems for the enemy's armored vehicles, even if the concentration of artillery fire is reduced. However, the defense potential of the Ukrainian side is expected to decrease. The main strongholds will not be defense lines, but natural obstacles, rivers, lakes, controlled heights, forests, and settlements. The Russian command will continue to strive, first of all to reach the administrative borders of Luhansk and Donetsk regions, as well as to develop the offensive in Kharkiv region and with the prospect of entering Dnipropetrovsk region. The Russians' exit to the right bank of the Kherson region under such conditions is unlikely, but the AFU bridgehead on the left bank will be left. In Zaporizhia Oblast, the controlled zone in the Verbov and Robotino area, achieved as a result of the summer offensive, will be lost. This may encourage the Russians to take more active steps in this area. Nevertheless, they will not have enough resources to reach Zaporizhia, given the defense lines and boundaries formed in the region. Lack of assistance from international partners will have an extremely negative impact on the situation in the war zone, and within a year Ukraine will lose a number of territories in the east and south of the country. This may strengthen Russia's position in the geopolitical arena, and Moscow will launch an unprecedented campaign to force Ukraine to negotiate on Russian terms against the backdrop of the advance of its troops. In fact, the lack of assistance from partners will deprive Ukraine of the ability to build forces for counteroffensive operations, and defense will be less reliable due to the lack of a full range of necessary means. In turn, due to endless meat waves, the enemy will suffer consistently high losses, which will force them to conduct regular regrouping and restaffing of units, which will also affect the pace of their advance, which, if we are talking about plans to capture the entire left bank, may take more than 1 year. But this scenario is possible only in the complete absence of assistance from the West, and this is an incredible option that does not correspond to the state interests of both the United States and the European Union. Happy New Year!